Hello, I'm back. And you are too. If you're new here, welcome. Welcome. This tells me you are part of my most ethical crew. Not the most ethical part of my crew, but you are welcome here if you are one of the most ethical that exist. Okay? That are ever to exist. Yes. Setting the bar up high. Which means there are plenty of spotters. Now, I just migrated a video from here to YouTube. I think it was the 21st, July 21st, yeah. The second part of it, anyway. And I've been doing quite a few things today. I'm quite happy with the turnout. I didn't stress about hardlining myself into like these impossible sticky note manifestations. Yeah. I mean, I like when I do the sticky note prioritization, you just put a few things on there. It's still top heavy. The top load is heavy, let me tell you. So, anyway, angels of light and love, I welcome you in to direct and protect these messages, my chakras, my auras, my space, my work, and that of our children's, who are fully present without negative ill possession. Thanks so very much. You'll only know what that means if you can intuitively draw from that, or if you backtrack on my, I don't know, last 2 or 3 readings. I don't know, but I trust you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, because we're talking about like our most vulnerable, ratio of dependence, I feel like, our leaders, our future leaders, that are starting early. They're blooming early, let me tell you. These new generations, geez, goodness gracious, somebody did a good job out there. So let's give ourselves a pat on the back, yes. Now I'm back on here just to take eensy little break because I just while I was doing some stuff, I was listening to some readings, some like random readings here and there, and there was one done 5 days ago by somebody that like I am very, very reluctant to speak well of like other readers directly on my channel, because I come to find out like, dude, it's heartbreak, man. Heartbreak Hotel. And so it's okay, it's a learning experience. And I was just thinking the other day, like a couple days ago, no more than a couple days ago, I'm like, I really enjoy readers, like the ones that I feel like are closest are ones that can also challenge me, not deliberately, you know, because that's kind of done out of hate or some kind of ill intent. So there's something hidden there. But it's more like they don't intend on doing it. It's just, you know, speaking their minds, kind of like what I do. But, dude, I always feel like sometimes I speak too soon. And obviously that reading showed me, like, I did it with one. I haven't done it in a long time, but I did it with this one reader. She's on my playlist, and I told her, I mean, I first I was just like, no, like I kind of, I did my gatekeeping and just ousted her from one of my other feeds. And, like, I know that she could give a shit, and that's fine. But, whatchamacallit, I was going to delete her from my playlist, according to what I had, you know, on cue for things that my divine team sent to me, like as just a headline or as a message. And I wasn't expecting anything in return or anything of that sort, but before all of this happened, and so I was gonna shave her off of there, just skim the top off, like no, I don't need to be part of that. But then I looked at the context of all the messaging that I had on there, and it just made sense, like how ironic it was to feel kind of triggered by her statements, when the following message was about the purge and like how there's going to be no more killing tonight. So So I just left it on there. I was like, okay, I don't need to go full out. I'm not going to stomp my feet. I understand the human condition of feeling initially triggered, but there's also a middle ground to that. I don't need to have her in my feed. I don't need that toxicity in my feed, like coming on my inbox. But at the same time, I think it proves a point within context. So I'm not going to micromanage everything, but I feel like it still pertains to the context. So there's no more going to be coming through my inbox pertaining to that reader. It was like, whatchamacallit? So her little rant was about if you label yourself as a Heyoka empath, or an empath this or this and that, a chosen one or this and that, then you're putting a target like right over your head, and this and just like, you're basically asking for it. So if you're going to use the same logic behind that, it's like, why are you going to call yourself a psychic? Why are you going to call yourself a reader? Why are you going to call yourself a spiritualist? It's the same mentality as taking it a step further and saying like, oh, you got raped because you wore that, oh, you took flirting a little bit too far, or just I could hear the hatred in her voice. Like, she was very triggered, but like, so she didn't get it. Like, I'm sure we crossed paths for a correct reason. And it's just, for me, on the like learning side of it, it's knowing that I too can also get triggered. But as a spiritualist, you don't deny yourself of saying like in manifestations, I know that if you acknowledge something, there's a general rule of you bringing it out into existence, like you're accentuating it. But if you're going to live along the hard lines of that, you're not really paying attention to the subtleties of magic, like, how do I say it? The stronger form of magic, which is, sure, you can acknowledge it. Sure, you can acknowledge if somebody's being a brat or like an asshole or whatever. But you don't need to accentuate that part. What you do is you acknowledge it, and then you, how do I say it? And you do better. That's all there is to it. You make something better out of it. You alchemize. So to deny it, it's almost like you're living a lie and you're storing that truth in yourself. So to deny its existence is almost doing yourself harm, So I acknowledge, this little snafu thing, but I detected the great amount of like toxicity, and I just invite, like, sometimes you grow out of relationships that are no longer tasteful for you, so it's okay. You do you. Everybody's like doing their own growth processes, but that's what I've got to say with regards to the haterdom in, like, how do I say this? Okay, angels of light and love. Try to, like, you can always set me correct on this. Like, Jesus Christ, of course you can. But to label yourself as this or that, it took a great deal of confidence and time for me to even acknowledge myself in written form. That it just didn't, like, why should I feel shamed for identifying in that manner? Like, I don't need to feel like live my life in the dark because somebody needs an excuse to aim a target at you. You know what I mean? So let's speak in first person here, not third. Okay, so why would I want to withhold something that I clearly identify with, that I've come to understand and beyond cognition? And it's, how do I say it? Knowing that there is a struggle, like an internal dispute of of anybody else like thinking that I'm self-proclaimed this or that. Like, I've already run through those arguments in my head and in my heart too, and that's where I found balance. Once I listened to what the divine was telling me, what others were telling me on a peer level within their divinity or even not their divinity, and so that's where my heart took it. I could identify with it and not to be shameful about it. So maybe other people think I'm being boastful about it. But I don't think so. I don't think I am. You know, are you going to complain that I'm calling in the angels of light and love, at every single reading? Are you going to, complain that I, am thanking Jesus Christ or, Spirit or even Goddess Kali? It's okay. I'm going to let it go. So, I pulled this Universal Weight Tarot because I was called to something new that I haven't used in a while. And look, it says Ace of Swords in there and then Nine of Pentacles right there. Okay? So this is like kind of the top of the deck. We're going to find the truth of the matter within our independence. And I thought it was funny. I was like, how is this going to read, into things? And I realized that it's this much smaller deck, which is like, okay, we're going to treat this snafu almost like petty. And we'll just kind of look beyond it. But I want to hear what Spirit has to say about this, because I knew that it was absolutely important to relay the logic of it. Okay, like convey, why would somebody try to spiritually shame you? It's ridiculous. See, that kind of mentality speaks into like the heart and the core of the person, where they come from. So it's like that kind of a person has an issue with like cultural lines or even how one identifies themselves. So they may have an issue with the gay community or even like how do you say it, minority groups, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna ask Spirit what. Okay, yeah, Spirit, Jesus Christ, what are your thoughts about this? Because I don't mind being set straight by you, of course. I'm not looking for, like, how do I say it? I'm not tugging on your sleeve to tattletale and for you to be on my side. I already know you're very supportive, especially of the truth and of growth and growth mindset. So what do you have to say about this? Oh, it's the sun card. I got delivered the sun. That is the light of day, let me tell you. Right here. Right there. Spirit said, ride 'em, cowboy. I don't even talk like that. But for real, it's like, look, ma, no hands. But this is the reality of it. This is ownership. Four of Pentacles within the sunflower atmosphere. And the fifth one, the major one, which is the sun itself, like when you shine brightly, and it's depicted as like standing above the rest of those that you also shine light upon, standing above the rest, we got Five of Pentacles here. And it's like, what do you do when you feel like you're outcasted because of your light? You know what I mean? So something about that, because the orange here, the orange flag, is the sacral chakra is on fire, basically. Oh, and it matches the feather on this baby's head. So it's pretty adventurous in being able to go out on a limb and just shine the light of truth on there. So I got served the truth, or I'm serving the truth. It was, I don't know, it was right down below. So clarifier, Spirit. Okay. Two of Swords. Accentuated, the King of Wands, accentuated, and Four of Swords, accentuated. Oh, you know what Spirit is saying? This is the suggestion. Block out all the noise. You know, like, see no evil, hear no evil, be no evil. That's just it. And kind of turn your back on it. Like, after doing that, like, blocking out the noise, like, this is soundproof, like, it's a soundproof booth is what Spirit is saying, is to have confidence and, like, looking forward to like, your growth, you're in meditation. It's, oh yeah, like, you know, when you go through growth spurts through sleeping, like, just, like, giving it a rest. Spirit said give it a rest, you know. So I think I've proved my point in all of that. Yeah, so if there's any response to that, because energy can be so prominent, it might not have to come directly from that reader, but through other messaging within my feeds. So I've seen that before. And so just, you know, if I get any response to it, then like energetically, then just give it a rest. Like, there needs to be nothing else said by about it. And this one came through. Nine of Pentacles. Okay, yeah. So you're independent in your what is it? Wait, I can't see it. It's a red-capped bird. Yeah. So, this is just being, having independent thought, that there's, you're very rooted in that, you know. Like, you don't need to show your footsteps here. But, like, the crown chakra of the bird, the thought processes, is very much, covered. So, it's symbolizing the root chakra on the uppermost, portion. So, it's like a continuation. It's like, being on the crown chakra, that it's, like, very rooting. So, like, whatever we're divining, it's very much like the root chakra of, what's going on up above. Okay. What is that? It's the Ten of Pentacles, for sure. So, I'm in receipt of that, and maybe that's why people are kind of just finding any reason that they can to hate. Like, let's just use, temporarily, extract themselves from my abundance, yeah. From our abundance, yeah. Or even their own, you know. I think that's true. Oh, I also wanted to say, to reiterate that, starting with other psychics and spiritualists, I am ousting them from my, my feed, when I see that they're buying into having to pay your way in. When I see it to the extremes of, beyond getting your foot in the door to something more like, they get, thousands of views within the first, like, 30 minutes, or tens of thousands, or even thousands within the first hour. I think that's where I'm starting it from baseline. Within your first hour of, releasing a reading or posting, if you get over 1,000 views, like, I know that you're one of those. You're one of those hidden people who, are doing, how do I say it? Who are buying into the culture that we all disagree with. You know, like, you're making the, how do I say it? It's indicating a disbelief in one's own inputs and talents as sufficient enough to get through, to gain popularity, to gain pull. Instead, you're buying your way in to not just your foot in the door, but like your whole body in to be fully seen. And it's like, why would you want to give in to that kind of culture? You're making us essentially like poor. Do you see what I'm saying? That those funds could be spent elsewhere, but to make space for that, to engage in that gesture, I just don't agree with. And that's like when we're talking about high magic within the subtleties, the closer and closer you grow towards your people within your circles, those are the very people that will turn against you instantaneously. Once you get to a certain level, yeah. And I'm not for that. So instead of like waiting till that time comes, I'm going to fast forward it and I'm just going to cut to the chase. And so regardless of what kind of messaging they is of value, I know that I can divine that ultimately myself. I don't need to keep them around for fear that I might lose out, like that FOMO of messaging. And I deserve better. I deserve quality people. If I'm going to be there for my grouping, then I want the same in return. So it's no offense if people are within those stages, but I need to limit my circles and exposure, my energetic exposure to those who are going to really keep it real. I mean, like, yeah, that's all there is to it. Spirit, do you want to say anything towards that? Do you have anything towards? Okay. So Queen of Cups in reverse and Nine of Cups in reverse. Yeah, it's feeling insatiated, but like it instills people who are within their power don't feel like it. You know, it's a lack of it's not empowering. That's what it is, and it's always feeling like not enough. Like it's not enough. It's insatiable. This like hustler's attitude without. Like, if you really thought about it, if you really think about it, it's like that kind of gesture speaks energetically that whatever you do is never going to be enough, because what always trumps it is buying your way in, to be seen, to be heard, to be known, etc. And it's like, what truly matters though? Like, what do you truly believe in? And so, do you want to say anything else to that, Spirit? I don't want to, like, bend truths or anything within my favor. I want to be able to speak to it for reals. So, what do you want to say about this? Clear up. Okay. One went down here. Oops. Yeah, the Tower moment accentuated. And what fell over here is Five of Swords accentuated and Three of Cups in reverse. So yeah, Spirit's right on with this. Like, this makes people like move in haste with decision making, that it's more of like an ego trip than anything, and we don't celebrate anyone except ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, the cups are pouring into this, like the ego trip. Oh, hold on real quick.